everybody, and welcome to Giselle Tech TV. I have a new channel name. It was Open Dialogue, now it's Giselle Tech TV, being that this will be a tech channel and that's the direction that this channel is heading in. So welcome to Giselle Tech TV. So I'm here to share some updates on this video. Over my winter break, I purchased a new domain name. And with that domain name, I created a new design for my portfolio. So I've moved everything over from my old domain over to this new domain, which it's a .dev extension. It's easier to remember. It's just my first name, .dev. And I think it's pretty cool. My old domain name, however, is now a personal website. So it lists everything I'm doing as far as my online presence. So I'll be sharing both of those designs, but I'll be going behind the scenes of my code on my actual portfolio, giselle.dev. As a web developer, it's very important to have a way to share your work, a way for people to see what you're doing, what you're up to. I love sharing my work and what I'm doing. So that's what my portfolio is about, to share my work as an up-and-coming developer, as a person who's learning all sorts of things right now in code and software. So I'll also be sharing my blog. I just put up a new theme on my blog, which for that I use WordPress. So I'll be sharing that. That's where I'll be sharing a lot of updates as well as my YouTube channel. So I'll be showing you that. But the main purpose is to show you my code and my process behind when I'm developing a project. So lastly, I'll be showing you my favorite Christmas present. So let's get started. Okay, first I'm gonna go over my portfolio, giselle.dev, which first I'm gonna show you the old portfolio design and how it used to look on my old domain, and then we'll go to the new one. So this was my old website, giselle.tillman.me, and this was how the design looked. It was a pretty simple layout, which I always follow a simple format, and I'm kind of straight to the point with my information and how I display it. So this design had separate pages, a little bit different from my new design. My work was displayed on its own page, so I had everything displayed in bullet points, as well as I had laptops as the previews for my designs, which I thought that was pretty fun. And I also had a frequently asked questions page, so I had contact information on a separate page and frequently asked questions. This was I used the way these links are set up is using a React router. So I set it up that way. And I also had a professional summary and a story section. So this one, still pretty simple. And I used a pineapple for the header. And it also had a fade in up on page load. And then the footer had my social media stuff and my site links and a back to the top link as well. So this was the old design. It's gone. I consider that version 2.0, and I am now on 3.0. So let's head over to version 3.0. So version 3 is a lot more colorful and interactive. And what I changed here is I made it into a one-page layout. So the navigation is very interactive, which these point to certain points on the website, like to the project section and to the skills section. So the header, it's constantly changing colors. My intro image has a hover on it as you hover over it. And so there's different sections on the home page. This is my knowledge and skills section, which is very interactive, and my projects and code. So on my projects, I have the name of the project, the tools that I use to build it, a preview of the project, and a description, plus a demo and the category. So it's pretty descriptive as far as everything involved with that project, and I'm pretty much going to display all my latest projects in this section. And I'll probably create an additional page, which is why I have the more coming soon. So this is my growth and development section. It's interactive as well. So it pretty much is showing what I'm doing at the moment, which a lot of what I'm doing right now is learning and leadership. So the last portion is my network section. So I have ways to reach out to me and my other network pages. So yeah, this gave me an opportunity to display more of my creative side, which anytime I'm building a project, my main thing is making it stand out, making it functional, but also making it stand out. So that's where I got the idea of a healthy balance of creativity and logic. So I consider myself very creative. I love expressing myself creatively through web development. So I'll be taking you through the code of this portfolio as well. So whenever I'm doing a project, I start with the very basics. So this is the code for Giselle.dev, which I'm using the React library for this. So the first thing I do is start with a background. When it comes to front end, start with the background. I love this background, so bam. And then I built a nav component. So comment out the nav. So then there's that there's an animation. So on page load, it animates, and then the nav links have a hover over them. So once I got done with the nav, then I went on to the header. And I pretty much do this. I mean, I found that this process works for me. I mean, first, I draw it out and everything. So this design was drawn out before I even did any coding. I planned this out, drew it out, and then I executed it with React and coding it. And then once I got done with the header, I was like, all right, let's head on to the intro. And over here, my components are in a folder over here. So they're all different sections. And same thing with the CSS. Every section has its own less file. So then you can start to see the scroll bar. This is a custom scroll bar. I decided I never do this, so I'm going to do it for my portfolio since it's my own website and got that creative freedom there. So I added a little hover to my intro image. So once I had a nav header and intro, then I could start building my sections. So I went on to the skills section and I worked each component. I might have worked on each component. I may have worked on 2 components a day. I didn't do this all in one day. I didn't even do it. I think it took me like around maybe to build the whole website, maybe at least a week. That is with losing all my data somehow and having to, that's a long story. But then I went on to projects. I added the projects component, imported it, added a less file. So I think this process, I think I lost my train of thought. But this process works for me because it enables me to focus on one section at a time. So once I'm done with a component, then I'm done with it. I may go back and change something, but for the most part, I'm pretty set, and I hope to be set when I'm done with that section. And then all the other sections just kind of bounce off of that. You know, I'm like, okay, I already have an orange section, I have a white section. What other colors can I incorporate and it actually will look good? So the next thing I did, I have my growth section, and there's that. So, whoops, gotta import that. Yeah, so by the way, with this design, you see where knowledge and skills is and growth and development is. These work on the native background that I chose for this design. So every other background is going to work off the main background, and then the other backgrounds are going to work on, they're going to have their own unique background. So I thought that was cool because at first all my sections were going to be orange, and then I looked at it and I was like, it was too orange, so I had to switch it up a little bit and change the sections, change each section to have its own color, because it was looking like kind of like well, there was this popsicle that I used to eat when I was a little kid, and I highly doubt anyone knows what it is, so I'm not even gonna bring it up. But that's what the website looked like, a popsicle. So that's my network, and then we headed on to the footer. So I have a little footer here and a back to top smooth scroll, so it smoothly scrolls back up. Now my navigation links, they point to certain parts of the site. So skills goes to the skills section, there's a smooth scroll. Projects go to project section, smooth scroll, and contact goes to the network section. So there's ways to get throughout the site without having to scroll all the way up and all the way down, and back to top gets you back to the top of the site. And another thing, it is responsive, so it works on mobile devices, it works on tablets. So if you were, I think about, let's just do this. I think my website starts really small, like, yeah, in the 300s. So, I mean, nobody's going to be looking at probably anything that small, but I'm very like, I like everything to just, I like things to work. So it works down to 304, and then it gets better. It gets to the desktop breakpoint at about 1300 pixels. So I'm just very like, I like things to work as small as I can get it. And then it goes up to about, I think it goes up to about 3000 pixels. So my website is not going to go past that. And even for these sections, like my knowledge and skills, that's not going to grow. Projects, that doesn't grow, because I want everything to stay into perspective. Nothing to get like too out of whack. So I do have a max width set on these sections. But as far as like my header, it will grow. And I'm considering like the screens that people likely will look on. So people will likely be looking from an iPhone. So that's what it looks like on an iPhone. They'll likely be looking from an iPad. So I'm always considering the likelihood, but I still will go to responsiveness, and I'm like, what does it look like on 500 pixels, or what does it look like on 700 pixels? So I'm always considering that. I like functionality, I like simplicity, and I like things to work. So yeah, I built it in React. And there's a website called Animista. I really like Animista. So this is a place where, is it called Animista? Yeah, Animista. This is where you can get like animation snippets. So like, just to save you some time as a developer, you can get all these cool snippets, and they have some code that you can just incorporate this into your code, like on my body.less. Like when you come into the website, it fades in, and I think I got that from Animista. So you want to put it on the component or wherever that's gonna hold that animation. Coolers is where I got like some ideas about colors. If you're like one of those people, I don't consider myself one of these people, but if you're somebody that's like, you really don't like design all that much, and you just need some inspiration, whether you like design or not, you might need inspiration. So this website, all these different cool colors, it's called Coolers. This is one of my new favorite websites. So it has a list of gradients, and I probably modified it just a little bit, whatever gradient I used, I don't remember. But you can go in and pick a gradient. You can even change the direction of the gradient and use it for your site, make it look good. Yeah, so those are mainly the resources that I use to build out Jashelle.dev, the new portfolio site. React is my library of choice for now because it's really the only one I've learned so far. I'm just building on that knowledge, and I really like the organization of React. I can install different dependencies. It's very quick, and I like it because I can put all my components in one file. It's so organized, and so for now, that's what I use, and that is Jashelle.dev. So the next thing I'm going to show you is JishelleTillman.me, my old portfolio. I'm going to show you basically the redesign and what I did with my old domain. So the new JishelleTillman.me is a brand new design that I created. It has an animated background and it is a listing of my online presence. So it has my portfolio, my channel, and articles, where I am online. So this is basically just a personal website now, JishelleTillman.me. So it has it basically houses all my links publicly in a creative way. So it's pretty professional yet still pretty simple. So this is the new design for that. So I thought it was still a productive way to use that domain and not just throw it away, but just make a use for it in some kind of way. So this is where you can always find out what I'm doing online. So yeah. So this is the new design on my blog. And as far as my blog goes, it's on WordPress. So I'm just using a WordPress theme on this. It's Jishelle.blog. So I'll be posting articles, updates, different things I'm learning here. And also you can subscribe to it. So whenever I post something new here, you'll receive an update. So I did archive everything. There's only a few posts here now. I actually started this back in 2019, sometime in March or April. But I started it over because I wanted to just make a fresh start on my blog and make it mostly tech articles, mainly to help other people. But I also think a blog is a good way to document your process, document your journey. It's a fun way to do so, along with YouTube. So whatever I don't talk about on YouTube will probably be here. So I'll be posting a lot of cool stuff there. So that's Jishelle.blog. So ladies and gentlemen, this was my favorite Christmas present. It's a very comfortable chair. It has a footrest, it has a backrest. You can lean it back, you can take a nap, you can sit on it for a long time. I absolutely love it. Definitely an upgrade from my last chair. It's a nice color. It goes well with my office. So this is number one. I love this chair, love it, and I highly recommend it. Oh, and I forgot to mention it has pillows. So you can take the pillows on and you can take the pillows off. So it's very diverse. Again, love it.